You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. So, this is the promised better edited with the materials and the supporting evidence, we'll say. We will be responding to FD Signifier. In his interview on Jam, we are going to be focused primarily, well, exclusively on the segment that mentioned Kevin Samuels. Bear with me because it's a lot of clips, and hopefully we can paint the picture. Mr. Z doesn't have anything against the young brothers on Jam. I disagree with them, but it is their future, and it is the future of the young men, young black men. My primary concern, and who I will be focused on, is FD Signifier, because I think he does young black men somewhat of a disservice. Not because I think FD means any malice to young black men. I actually think that he wants the best for them. But I think his intersectional feminist lens causes him to think he's doing less harm or no harm in low-key, high-key, encouraging these young men to be dumb and naive concerning women, right? Particularly young black women, the women that the young brothers off of Jam will come in contact with. So let's start off with, well, a short clip of FD Signifier speaking to those young brothers, and we'll come around to it. We got the sound clip. We'll get to it in a minute. But let's start off like this.
I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, nigga, you too old.
Yeah. Kevin Samuels around the time like it got so bad, like their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuel shit because it like created that line to like the Tates of the world and everything. When I seen he died and I seen like what the
we were on stream.
What the we was on stream what happened, and when I seen what the online discourse was, I was like, I ain't never seen some of you niggas this broken up about like man, like what are we doing? It was the clips that I was seeing is some crazy
it was groups of full-grown men going down the street and marching for this nigga.
I've seen like at least 10 to 15 grown-ass niggas just online bawling their eyes out.
His core guiding principle was anti-blackness.
Yes.
Just period. And it just so happened, as a black man, he aimed it more at black women.
I remember the day he passed on stream. And I remember we were talking about it. What you said, I'm not gonna say it. But what did I say? You was like that nigga. I think we was. I was trying to be correct.
It's the funny. Let me finish.
No. You good.
I was literally making my first Manosphere video, and I just finished recording the section on him. And I went in something ugly because I was like, I know he gonna come after me, so I'm gonna just have to go in. It is what it is. And then like literally stop record. I look like this nigga died. And I called him a coon and all kinds of shit. And so I was like, listen, as much as I believe what I said, maybe like having that right after is not a good taste.
Mine was like, I was on stream and I was new to the streaming shit, and I'm still like, the gear is still trying to turn for me. I didn't really know where I was supposed to go. I only knew, nigga, how do me and my niggas get money? We all broke as shit. We all shitty.
So bullshit. I hear Kevin Samuels die. I'm like,
hey, bro, y'all gotta chill, you know. Hey, RP to my nigga. This nigga JJ come out of nowhere. That nigga died on a girl or something. He like, that bitch ass nigga died on a girl.
I was like,
he was like, all that shit that nigga was talking. It's like one of the funniest.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Why aren't people getting married? Is marriage simply for those who are privileged? That was the question in regard to a survey done by the American Enterprise Institute and Opportunity America. As we know, the percentage of people getting married has decreased over recent years. And so what are the reasons behind it? Now, marriage has sharply declined among people without college degrees while staying steady among college graduates with higher incomes. So just to give you the specific numbers, 26% of poor adults, 39% of working class adults, and 56% of middle and upper class adults ages 18 to 55 are married. So the number or the percentage is much lower for those who are living in poverty or struggling economically. Now, to compare, back in 1990, the numbers were very different. So in 1990, 51% of poor adults, 57% of working class adults, and 65% of middle and upper class adults were married. One of the main reasons that respondents mentioned was that, yeah, you know, when it comes to men who are struggling with their finances, who might not have good jobs, women are less likely to be interested in marrying them. And so that could be part of the reason. Also, just over half of adolescents in poor and working class homes live with both of their biological parents, compared with 77% in middle and upper class homes. So even though less people are getting married when it comes to, you know, a certain socioeconomic status, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're having less kids. Now, the overall birth rate in America has decreased slightly, but for the most part, birth rates have been steady.
Yeah. So that's a big number, a big difference. 51% in 1990 of poor adults, which is the lowest 20th percentile in income, now only 26%, so cut in half basically. And look, there's a couple of different factors, and it is interesting. One of the most interesting parts is that, so the poor economy can lead to a vicious cycle, which creates this. But once it sets into the culture, it then becomes really hard to reverse.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
If this struck you as unusual when you were watching the series, that's because it was. In scholar Richard Bush's study of 262 so-called domestic situation comedies from 1946 to 1990 at least, he found that just 11% featured heads of household who were working class, i.e. doing blue-collar, clerical, or service work. Malcolm's father, and future drug lord as you may remember, plays a low-level clerical worker. This is despite the fact that most American workers qualify as working class. Back in 1976, scholars Gerbner and Gross addressed this still relevant trend, calling the exclusion of working class families from television a symbolic annihilation of America's economic realities. The problem is especially bad on children's television, where a scant 2% of characters are depicted as working class. Now, this isn't exactly a coincidence. Showing stable middle and upper class families is good for business, especially if you're making a family-friendly sitcom. And the reason is simple: commercials. According to scholars Zieglinde Lemke and Wibke Schneiderman, as a form of mass entertainment financed by selling commercials to middle-class consumers, it seems logical that the predominant mode of representing class presupposes middle-class normativity. That is to say, watching the kids' skins stick to the seat in a rundown car with a broken radiator doesn't exactly put you in the mood to splurge on that cool new vacuum cleaner or a fancy bottle of cologne. In comparison, watching the Huxtables hang out in a brownstone while modeling yet another sick sweater from a seemingly endless pile brings viewers a sense of economic plenty that they might not feel in their day-to-day lives. Now, obviously, Malcolm in the Middle wasn't the first show to peddle an economic angst.
I'll tell you what they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you what all jobs pay. Less than you're worth, and just enough to keep you crawling back for more.
We saw this as far back as the 50s with the Honeymooners, while the mid-70s brought Laverne and Shirley, and the late 80s saw the debut of America's most famous working-class family on Roseanne. But for anyone with enough business savvy, it just didn't seem financially smart to make a family or children's show about bringing your leftover egg breakfast to school for lunch.
What do you have? Leftover eggs from breakfast?
Which brings us to Disney. In a moment, that is. First, we have to look at 1980, when a broad cultural phenomenon began, the Reagan-era loosening of restrictions on entertainment regulations, including advertising during children's television programming. Now, after a major 70s-era crackdown on advertising to kids, you could only show a limited amount of commercials during children's programming, and were also required to produce educational and informative content for kids. When President Reagan and co. had essentially signed or vetoed all that away by 1984, things changed rapidly. A year after regulation, all of the top 10 best-selling toys had their own TV show. While child-centric product placement had occurred during television's early days, that was really no comparison to this new reality. The insane proliferation of TV character-aligned merchandising was dubbed the Strawberry Shortcake Strategy by Tom Engelhardt. That's thanks to the 1980 show's explosions of licensed dolls, video games, stickers, lunchboxes, and so on. And that reliance on branding would continue to increase from the 90s and on, as corporations realized what a valuable consumer demographic children could be. And though a 1990 congressional bill had reinstated some restrictions on such advertising, the industry had been changed forever. Increasingly, merchandising centered on children's television characters began blurring the line between consuming entertainment and just plain consumerism. And we're not trying to demonize your favorite Lizzie McGuire lunchbox. it's just a little weird. Which is why families like Malcolm in the Middle aren't the norm for places like the Disney Channel. While they didn't start making original live-action shows until the late 90s, they came in hard, quickly crafting what journalists Julia Borston and Alinda Wheat call a tween machine, in which pre-teenagers, and in this case primarily girls, were targeted through lifestyle marketing like the world had never seen. As scholar Morgan Genevieve Blue notes, the marketing was part and parcel with the programming decisions themselves, explaining that Disney Channel personnel worked closely with Disney Consumer Products and Disney Music Group to extend the network's fictional narratives across a variety of media and merchandise for tween girls. This was in order to effectively creep into the lives and life spaces of kids beyond the TV network. And that's according to a presentation given by President and CCO of Disney Branded Television, Gary Marsh himself. And the way they did it, mostly through appeals to girl consumers. As Blue explains, characters like Hannah Montana promote representations of aspirational celebrity and teen life via fashion and dress-up and musical performances. And this way, according to Blue, franchisable girl star personae both reflects and perpetuates a neoliberal turn in the United States, which privileges a performative and celebrity-oriented form of girlhood as the contemporary ideal, i.e. a girl who has all the products she needs to look and behave a certain way. In the aughts, this often took the form of sparkly clothes, as best seen in Disney's unprecedentedly large expansion into Walmart stores with clothing and lifestyle lines specifically marketed to middle and working class girls. And by 2014, Disney was racking in $3.99 billion of revenue in consumer products alone, driven largely by Disney Channel merchandise. The franchise elements of the Disney Channel explains why programmers need to make shows about securely middle-class families. Doing so both doesn't alienate working-class viewers, while also painting a fantasy of magical middle-classdom where money is never a problem and consumption is a high priority. That is to say, the family on Wizards of Waverly Place may run a humble sandwich shop, but their apartment sure doesn't look that way. As Blue puts it, Disney's texts, products, and promotions may allay anxieties over vast systematic inequalities, in large part by painting an image of a world where families aren't struggling to make ends meet. This, of course, requires ignoring realities, like the fact that 14.4% of American children were growing up below the poverty line as of 2019.
I actually am worried about the future because I just want us to be good and don't have to worry about how we're going to get the next thing or how we're going to get food.
Of course, it's not just Disney and it's not just tween girls being targeted. Cartoon shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Smurfs were extended through a huge amount of licensed merchandising tie-ins, ranging from films to comics and books to computer games. Scholar Marcia Kinder observed back in 1991 that this transmedia intertextuality effectively eliminates any distinction between the original text, i.e. the show, and the spin-off text and commodities that bank on the show's success, which may be a large reason why children's and family television typically finds its comfort zone in middle to upper middle class bliss, where the biggest problem is your family photo shoot coming out squeaky clean. And there's nothing wrong with that. We love these shows, but it does present a skewed perspective of what American life is like. As Stile Sakira and Larry Osi-Mensah put it, television serves as a tool that continues to mold the public consciousness, in part by fostering a single-minded interpretation of superficial symbolism as an indicator of status and quality. That is to say, by basically suggesting that the right house, the right toy, or the right sparkly outfit can bring you happiness and cement your status as happily middle class, TV reinforces a materialistic status quo. No.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Rom-coms used to tell men you're lovable as you are. Now they tell everyone if you're not elite, don't bother. You see, we didn't just change casting, we rewired expectations. Adam Sandler, Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, Mike Myers, Jack Black, Michael J. Fox, Steve Carell, John Cusack, Ben Stiller, Seth Rogen, Billy Crystal, LL Cool J, Kevin Hart, Nicolas Cage, even the guys on Friends. Short guys, dad bods, balding guys, awkward guys, funny guys, men with blue-collar jobs, men you could actually imagine knowing. Rom-coms used to sell something radical. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable. Compare that to today. I'm fine with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell falling in love, but when every romantic lead looks like a Marvel casting call, something breaks. Hallmark hunks, Netflix hunks, Instagram filter hunks. Take Emily in Paris. The young women are smart and attractive, but struggling to make a name for themselves and pay rent. And yet somehow they can't seem to settle down with supermodel men who are well-dressed and accomplished Michelin-star chefs and multi-millionaire heirs to their parents' fashion empires. One of the central characters, Sylvie, is a 62-year-old woman married to a handsome man who is 8 years younger than her, which is fine. But she also keeps hooking up with a 6'3" male model half her age. This is also the plot of every romance novel. A simple, average girl somehow catches the attention of a handsome prince. I get it. It's female fantasy, but it's also aspirational in all the wrong kind of ways. And we're seeing the effects in real life. Dating app data consistently shows that women overwhelmingly swipe on a small fraction of men. Tall, high-income, conventionally handsome men. A single guy who's over 6 feet and makes over $100,000 is a statistical anomaly, yet that's become the baseline expectation. So what happens when women who are 7s and 8s hold out for 9s and 10s? Men who are 6s and 7s opt out entirely, and everyone feels like something is wrong. Our brains are are prediction machines. The media we consume trains what we expect and what we think we deserve. For the first time in modern history, fewer women say they want to get married than men. More people are living alone. Loneliness rates are exploding. This isn't about blaming women, and it's not about shaming men. It's about culture that stopped celebrating character and started selling unattainable ideals. We don't just need fewer attractive people on screen. We need equal pairings that feel realistic. Give us short kings. Give us plumbers, teachers, and social workers, not heirs to European wine empires. Give us men without six-packs and women without filters. Because when media teaches people that love only happens at the top 1%, everyone else gives up. And that's not romance. That's a recipe for cynicism and loneliness.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
As feminist women, we want to be equal. But if you say to us, yeah, but you know what, male CEOs have full-time caregivers at home. Find me a male CEO who has a family, who has a wife or a partner, who is not the lead caregiver. I defy you to find me that person. So then you say to the same women, so if we want to be CEOs, yes, we're superhuman and all that stuff, but you know what? Actually, you can't really expect us to do 24/7 jobs any differently than the guys do. So if we're going to be there and we're going to be in those top positions, we need a lead caregiver at home, as I have. And my husband obviously has a full-time job, that's great, but he's the lead parent because I could not be the lead breadwinner if he were not the lead parent. I simply couldn't. Somebody's got to be home. I mean, even at 15 and 7, actually, particularly at 15 and 17, somebody has to be home.
Yeah, right.
As we discovered, we saw the Doll's House last night, we came home, our 15-year-old had been home alone, somebody ought to be home. So,
the place was trash.
A bit. Pizza boxes, we won't go there. So then you say, okay, so you want to be the CEO or the president of the university or the surgeon or the scientist, whatever. You've got to marry somebody who is willing to support you in the homework, the family work, in the way he's going to support you. Believe me, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do without him, but that's probably what you're going to have to do. And maybe you'll trade off, but he's going to have to do that part of the time. And at that point, many women get off the bus. They don't want to marry a guy like that. They don't think a guy like that is masculine. Indeed, the guys who do that, I know I'm in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is the home of, Brooklyn gives the lie to all this. There are more stay-at-home dads here than probably anywhere else in the U.S., or work-from-home dads, or lead caregiver dads, or however you want to put it. But in most places in the U.S., those dads report that the women they engage with on the playground think they're a little odd. Do not think of them as a model of masculinity. We can't have it both ways, right? Just as I was told growing up, don't be too smart. You don't be too smart around a guy. He won't want you. Well, right, that vision of femininity had to change. It had to change. Guys had to think that women who were powerful and smart and competitive were attractive, because otherwise we couldn't do it. Well, you know what? We have to think that a guy who puts his family first, that a guy who says, no, I want to be the lead parent. I'm going to defer a promotion. I'm not going to be the most powerful guy out there. We have to say, you are a masculine, valued, wonderful man. And if we can't get there, we are not going to make this kind of change, because we've gotten as far as we can get without doing that. We've got 15% of unbelievable super women who get really lucky, right, or who have a lot of money, or who are just really superhuman, who manage to make it work, but we're not going to get further than that. So it's really about changing the way we think about it. It's not only, but a lot of it is about changing how we think about men and what we think a masculine, attractive guy is.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
The wealthy will not marry you, and here's why. There's a term for this in economics, and it's called assortative mating. It's a tendency for people to marry others like themselves, high earners with high earners, college grads with college grads, and over the last few decades, the pattern has intensified. People don't choose partners from the entire population, they choose from people they actually meet. People from the same schools, same jobs, same cities. So marriage stops being random and becomes a lot more predictable. And this has consequences. Wealth doesn't come from income alone, it comes from stability, from true salaries instead of one, from shared risk, from access to better neighborhoods, neighborhoods, better schools, and better networks. That's how advantage compounds. This is why today, who you marry matters almost as much as what you do, why upward mobility feels harder, and why effort alone is not enough to close the gap. Once assortative mating sets in, it reinforces itself. Children grow up in healthier homes, they get better education, they move to the same expensive cities, they meet people just like them, and they marry each other. So when people say anyone can make it, they're ignoring a part of the system that matters deeply. So if you feel like this economy isn't built for you, it's because in some ways it isn't. And it's not because we're failing as individuals, it's because wealth is concentrating 2 people at a time.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
In Korea, of the 7.8 million women in their 30s and 40s, 17.176%, or 1.38 million, are single. Now, in the 21st century, marriage is no longer a necessity, but rather an option, and many women choose to remain single. Yet, there is not enough social security for them, creating a blind spot of the structural system. Let's learn more about the issue and what needs to be done to improve the current conditions. Chung Eun-mi is a 41-year-old florist who dreamed of becoming a good wife and wise mother as a child. Like the majority of people, she thought she had to get married and form a family when she was younger. But her perspective has changed a lot.
I gained a genuine passion and desire for my career in my early 30s. Therefore, I naturally focused more on my work than romantic relationships, and time passed very quickly.
Chung is not the only one who chooses to remain unmarried. Many women in their 30s and 40s do too. According to the National Statistical Office, 1,384,047 women in their 30s and 40s were single as of 2015, and that figure is more than twice that of 10 years ago. The drastic jump largely resulted from women's increased labor force participation. Also, Korea remains a patriarchal society.
Marriage is not only a union of 2 lovers, but of families, which I found very burdensome. I wasn't sure if I could take care of all the things that occur in my husband's family while pursuing my career.
Currently, 40% of female workers have irregular jobs and earn about $1,500 per month on average. Indeed, the low income has a negative influence on housing stability.
The majority of single women live alone, and the residential environments vary depending on economic status. Naturally, there are concerns about women being targets of sexual assault and other crimes, especially for those living in poorer areas, as it is clear that the number of violent crimes against women has been increasing recently.
A recent survey conducted by the Seoul Metropolitan Government on women in their 40s and 50s living alone, only 36.9% responded that they were preparing for old age. Also, 81.2% of them answered that they were unable to prepare for their later years because they couldn't afford to do so. But there's barely any governmental support for them. 39-year-old Kim Hyun-ju works for the Cooperative Society of an animal hospital in Seoul. And she mentioned that Korean single women are stuck in the blind spot of social welfare. More than anything, the biggest fear comes from the fact that there are many structural limits if they suffer from any diseases.
If I needed medical surgery, only my direct family members are eligible to sign the consent form. I currently live with my friend, who is single as well, but she would not be eligible to sign the form, even if my life depended on it.
As a cat owner, Kim formed a gathering of fellow single women with animal companions. The best thing about this gathering is that they have good neighbors to rely on in times of emergency, who also have the same interests and concerns.
There are certain hardships we experience because we chose to remain unmarried. We share those things, relate to one another, and get healed along the way.
Outside the welfare system, single women have to find their own means to secure their futures, and they're calling on a change in the family-centered social policies.
Because the tax system, welfare policies, and even the medical insurance system are designed for families, they alienate unmarried women and single-person households. Therefore, our society needs to find ways to embrace and support them, rather than merely trying to treat the symptoms.
For marriage to be truly an option for both genders, the general perception towards singles should be transformed along with new practical policies to meet their needs.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
You guys have been living in a fantasy land. You think that it's not going to happen. You think there's going to be some kind of bailout. There's going to be something else. There's going to be nothing. People right now are being put on the streets. In Dallas-Fort Worth, the constables are moving people out, putting their stuff on the front yard. You want to know what's coming, ladies? They're decriminalizing the oldest profession in the book. In New York City right now, the governor, the mayor said we're not going after people who are loitering in the streets. So, like it or not, some parts of Manhattan, some parts of the 5 boroughs have been turned into right there in the streets. Go to World Star, you'll see the video yourself. Broad daylight, transactions happening on a stoplight. Guess what? That's New York. Guess where else it's about to come? California. States across the country, because why? There's not enough money to give to people. And if you're a woman and you have a regular job, you know, let's just look at it. If you were not an essential worker during the pandemic, you are at risk. I was in Neiman Marcus the day they shut the world down, and I had never seen panic like that before. And all those women's eyes, because many of them have been with that company for 15, 20 years. All they had done is retail. Neiman Marcus is on the verge of bankruptcy, and the only thing that saved Neiman Marcus was the pandemic. Those women over there know they are coming back. And when the world stops again, many of these 40-year-old women are not going to have a job to go to and have no skills in the environment. Ladies, winter is coming. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and when winter comes, it does not, and this is not just the winter. We are heading into what I'm going to call the long night. It's not going to just be 3 months. It's not going to just be 6 months. We're talking about a global reset for the world. The world, I have been studying this for the better part of 2 years. Look at what's going on in South Korea and Japan. You think it's a joke? You think it's a game? There are villages in Japan where people are outnumbered by freaking dogs. I'm not kidding. Japan is dying. An aging population and a group of people who are not dating. They're not dating. They're not marrying. They're not getting together. You know what it's called? Hikomori. Socially withdrawal. Socially withdrawn. These I'm talking about men 45 and under. Same thing with women. Remember we talked about korukoshi? People dying in their apartments. We talked about Singyu, leftover cake, leftover women. Ladies, it's here. Winter is coming. August will be it. August, when the schools open, the people who have not been working will be forced to go back to work because the children must be in school. The daycares that are left will be there. What are you going to do if you go and have a job and you've been downsized, you've been automated? How many people have been to a McDonald's recently? And you'll notice that most of the front register staff is gone. It's kiosks. The largest 2 employers in our community are black women, are federal government and retail. Retail is dead. We have 26.4 square feet of retail space for every American. The next largest developed country has 6. We have 6 times too many retail spaces. This is why you're seeing dying malls across the country. And what's going on? Because so many women are not being told to think about their long term. This is coming as a surprise. This is why women in Korea are saying we need to, the society is not set up for single people. And what the society needs to do is re-engineer itself for singles. Bullshit, it's not going to happen. Basically, what women in Korea and Japan are hoping that single men who had no family, no children, and have been locked out of the sexual marketplace because of this hypergamy will somehow come and save their lives. Not going to happen.
All right. People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Do you care how average earning men feel when they hear women coming in saying they don't want average earning men?
Okay, well, nobody wants an average earning man.
Oh, but that's belittling average earning men.
But it's like, how did you end up being an average earning man?
Because you are.
Listen,
ma'am, hold on, don't overtalk me. Don't overtalk. I'm going to answer your question. Are you a college student?
I just graduated last Thursday.
So you understand a bell curve?
I do.
Then you understand the middle point, the median? The
Yes,
median?
I do.
That's average. How'd you become average? By being average.
Okay.
Average is not failing. It's average.
I know.
So you don't mind belittling average earning men, but you think that men, so you don't have a problem with belittling average earning men, but you got an issue. Who said who wants an average earning man? Who wants an average earning man?
Nope. Listen to what I said. I said
No. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? You don't talk to me that way. I do not know the French toast you think you're talking to. You're 30 years my junior. Unmute yourself. Ma'am, let's be ultimately clear on something. One thing, above all else. I'm not your contemporary. You can vehemently disagree with me, but you cannot disrespect the fact that I am older than you.
that's true.
Now, you were saying about the average man and how that's not the same as a BMI or a woman's fitness.
Yes.
Explain.
What I mean is that weight fluctuates. I can change my weight, but they can't change their tax bracket, and that's not my fault. Fair?
First,
You agree?
no. Actually,
You
it's
don't
not.
agree?
No. It's first of all, I talk about dress size, not weight.
Okay, dress size, it's still in the same correlation.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not. You can wear dress size 6 or dress size 4 and have a different body composition because muscle weighs more than fat. See, I've accounted for
so
that.
you do know that.
Well, look here, smart ass. I'm the fucking image consultant, and I'm about to make a real bad day for you if you don't check that smart ass mouth talking to a grown damn man. This is the last warning, young lady, and it's going to get real bad from here.
How's it gonna get bad?
How about that? How about
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
So,
what's your disagreement?
my disagreement is just basically about the fact that Black women shouldn't have to feel obligated to smile to Black men. We're holding a lot of trauma. We're holding a lot of problems, mental health issues.
Hold on. How old are you?
24.
I'm gonna say this one more time. I need you to pay attention. I need all Black women to pay attention. The world does not owe you understanding or me understanding. If you have all this trauma, go seek professional help, because the rest of us do not have to suffer you.
Okay, it's easy to tell Black women and Black people in the Black community to get help.
Whose responsibility is it to get the help they need?
But it's not available readily to our
That
community.
is
easily.
bullshit.
With the website growing, how many people
Whose
can afford?
responsibility is it to get the mental health they need? Who?
It is ultimately the responsibility of us to get the mental health that we need. But I'm
You
letting
mean-
you know
you mean
that
the
we are
person
very
in the-
underserved.
You can't make this stuff up. So you say we're underserved. You got to tell me that the therapists that already exist are overloaded. We don't go get help, man. We just had a therapist on here before. I talked to psychiatrists, and first of all, understand who you're talking to. I know hundreds of, anyway. What do Black people tend to deal with? How do Black women tend to deal with their mental health issues? With a licensed clinician or with Jesus?
That is what's pushed to us since
No,
from the age of we are little.
No, man.
That's
I
something
asked.
we grow up
I
with.
asked who. Let's see. I asked who they see. We're not gonna play. I'm not gonna play the lily pad game. Did they go to a clinician or did they go to the church?
The church most often.
All right, and these are educated. Most of these women are educated, and they've heard about therapy. They make the choice not to go. No different than, I'm gonna switch it up. No different than women understand and hear that being 200 pounds and 5 foot tall is unhealthy. But yet 80% of our women are overweight and 80% of that is obese. They know the truth. They choose to do something else.
The narrative pushed to us most often is that a guy wants a woman with a big ass. He wants, you know, a thick lady.
Accountability is kryptonite to modern women. Ma'am, you say the traumas? If I accept them, then you got to do something about them. Because what about the traumas that the black man has to deal with? But we still have to get out here and be functioning people in society, contributing. You don't get to walk around and say, have a special victim status.
I'm not saying we should have a special victim status, but our circumstance is different. We are women.
We are less. You're 24 years old. Is your circumstance harder or easier than your grandmother and your great-grandmother?
Exponentially easier. We have access to information we didn't have.
Exponentially easier, but you're handling it worse. Your grandmother, your great-grandmother actually could work with a black man with more trauma.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now that we are all free and independent and we could do whatever we want to, why would we seek to, you know, be one with the black man? We even think that being...
Thank you. Clip it, slice it, put it on World Star. She said it, not me. Now that you're independent, you don't need to be with... There you go. There you go. And there you go, black man. There it is. She's finally got one to say it.
Build businesses with us.
Your grandmothers and your great-grandmothers had more trauma and more stress and did it better. They have exponentially less and they're handling it worse. But it's because they're free and can do what the hell they want to. They don't need to be with you. So you don't need to feel any guilt for taking care of you, for putting yourself first and making your passion, your purpose, your priority. You don't need to feel guilty because this 24-year-old woman just said it. They don't feel any guilt about it. Thank you. So don't ask black men to care about your traumas when you can't even smile at us.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Well, I'm an international supermodel. I'm 22 years old, and I just came out with a song. Insider wrote about it. And I want millions because I think I'm responsible to handle the money. So I'm looking for a responsible man. I deserve money because I'm intelligent.
Are you a member of Mensa?
What's Mensa?
The Society for Genius Level Intellects.
Oh, well, I've never heard of this.
What is the most money you've ever earned?
My MAC Cosmetics campaign in 2019, I was paid $20,000.
Okay. Tell me about the rate of return you've received in the last year.
The rate of return. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that financially literate.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
I heard about you, but I don't really know much about you. I just came to my best friend's house. She was saying she was looking at your videos and she was offended by your content, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know what is supposedly so offensive about you.
The truth.
Okay.
The truth tends to offend many women today. Women have no problem saying, I want a man who's 6 foot tall, 6 figures, 6-pack. I don't want no scrubs. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. I don't want no. But then when a man says he just has a standard too, there's all of a sudden an issue.
Well, I don't have to have somebody 6 feet. As long as you're 2 inches taller than me, I'm 5'7".
But exactly, but
if you're 5'9".
But hold on, ma'am. But that still is a standard. That still is a preference, and men have theirs as well. Women have been memorializing what they want in movie and song for my entire life. When men just have the nerve to respond when asked, all of a sudden we're entitled and toxic masculinity.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
average people get average people.
Assortative mating. So why is it that most average women don't want average men?
Because it's a natural thing for people to want what they can't have.
It's not natural. It's not natural.
It's a natural desire.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, ma'am, it's not natural. It is not natural. Every other race of woman on here is white women are the next lowest group of married women. They're married at a 54 rate. And you look at an average looking white woman, you're like, ooh, even the women who are unattractive, you're like, ooh, but you look on her finger, you're like, she's married. You're like, who would marry her? And you look at her husband and they look like they match because they accept. But in our community, women want the men to look better than them. It's not natural. Black women are living an unnatural existence.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
You can't expect us to be wifey material for someone that doesn't deserve it.
Automatically wrong.
Okay, so you expect me to give my all and give my best to
I
someone?
expect you to appreciate the men that built the world around you, that allow you to be able to live in a first world country. The entitlement you guys have. So entitled. In college today, the average man sitting in college with a woman knows that that woman wants a man making 6 figures. They can't even date because today young women don't want men who are making average money. The men you typically date are older and have money.
Yeah.
You want everything. You don't know what the world costs. And that is why most women cannot respect men. Gentlemen, act accordingly. Treat them equal if they want to be treated equal.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But you're, ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay. Average looking women. Average looking woman who's older. Average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son. Average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10%.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
I'm making this as a PSA to any man that ever thought he had a chance with me or any man that wants a chance with me. If you like 50-50, stay where you're at, baby, because this mouth is only going to get more egregious. I promise you that. I'm paying these big bills and you think I'm not about to be talking to you out the side of my mouth? Watch this. Watch this.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Way top tier. Your dick is not equal to my fucking pussies. Point blank period.
His dick ain't equal to your fucking bills neither.
God damn. Look, at the end of the day, I ain't
Them bills got your name on it. They don't have his dick name on it.
At the end of the day, I ain't fucking no broke ass nigga. Do what you want with your pussy.
Yeah, you
but
don't
this
have to
pussy
fuck
got a
no
price
broke ass
tag on
nigga.
it. Straight
You
up.
look, no, nah, You can fuck a nigga that ain't broke. That's not a problem. But just because he ain't paying your bills, don't mean he fucking broke. That mean it ain't his goddamn responsibility. Your bills got your name on it. It don't have his dick name on it.
Okay, you're right. I land my plane.
You see how that mom.
Average people get average people.
Assortative mating. So why is it that most average women don't want average men?
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
This is what I tell average looking and below average looking women. If you can't date up, be alone. Life is easier that way. And I know that's controversial. I don't care. I don't care.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap.
As a man, if you don't have house core job, don't look for a woman with house core job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting and bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Mr. Z is talking to himself. Of course, I was talking to himself, right? And thank you, Tori. Right? That was 45 minutes, everyone. 45 minutes. That is the longest amount of intro videos. Obviously, we kept on playing the Kevin Samuels clip where he pretty much said, I'm Satan, right? If I'm telling women the truth, black women, but women the truth. So 45 minutes, give or take, of intro. I could end it right there, but I won't. So now that we can commence with the monologue, I think I proved my point, right? I think I proved my point to the young brothers from Jam. It sound good. And notice, for the most part, Mr. Z played women under the age of 30. As a matter of fact, for the most part, Mr. Z played women 25, 26 and younger, 22, 21, 23, around the young brothers around Jam's age. That's what y'all gonna be running into. And y'all in Chicago too? Yeah. Woo! Have fun. Have fun. Huh? I have nothing to say to those young brothers. It's their generation. They're going to decide how they're going to interact with the young ladies, how they're going to respond and react to the young ladies. Black, white, Latina, Asian, and otherwise. But FD signifier, oh boy. Huh? Brother, what exactly do you think you're doing here? Y'all spoke about Kevin Samuels. As a matter of fact, let's play it. Let's play it, right? So this is gonna take a couple minutes. We'll yeah, because I want to kind of put in context how they got to the Kevin Samuels clip, right? How did they get to speaking about Kevin Samuels? So that we can have it in context and we can dissect why speaking about Kevin Samuels, disparaging Kevin Samuels in a vacuum is a problem. And how, if you're doing that, we have to question whether you actually care about black women, young black women, about black men, young black men, about the black community, about these black people coupling up, these young black people. Or are you just the intersectional feminist who is attempting to tone police, actually who is attempting to shut down conversation and only have one way, well, dictatorship in the black community, where black men, young black men, are dictated to on how they should move and interact and be spoken to, by black women. Huh? Shout out to Whoopi Goldberg. If Mr. Z can find the clip, that'd be great. Right? Mr. Z can't even find his own goddamn clip. Well,
look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. Black men come from our bodies.
Yeah.
So black men have black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah. The matriarchy is strong with the black
huh? See, this is what FD knows. He knows it. He minimizes it. He dismisses it, especially around young black men. Because the goal for FD and folks like him is that those young black men don't listen to people like Z because we're toxic, right? We're misogynists, we're misogynoirous, right? We're sexist. They should listen to brothers like FD and get their head taken off. Brothers like Consciously, foreign man in a foreign land. Huh? Omizi. Just go out there naive and just get your head clean taken off by one of these young women that called it the Kevin Samuels show. Women around your age. What you think you gonna smell this out? Yeah, that's it. You think you gonna smell this out? First date, second date? Huh? Y'all speak about Kevin Samuels in a vacuum. The women lined up, young women, middle-aged women, older women, all looking for the paymaster man that would just protect, provide, and shut up.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
I played those clips from Kevin Samuels. I played the supporting evidence because Kevin Samuels wasn't just pointing at black women and, hey, you're going to die alone. Hey. I played the South Korea clip that he was referring to. I watched it. I know exactly what he was referring to when he made reference to it. Huh? Yeah. And just like South Korea, which you're going to have from women, including black women, when they don't get coupled up, more and more of them unpartnered, is them trying to find a way to force society, force the US government to subsidize them and pay for them on the back end. No pun. Yeah, we know we didn't get married. We didn't have children, but I did buy that condo downtown and I do have a Tesla Model 3. So I'm in my mid 60s, I'm retiring in a few years. Could somebody please find a way to subsidize me, because I'm old and I'm feeling the tension in my bones and huh? Yeah. Just like what's happening in South Korea now. This is the part y'all don't want to mention about Kevin. No, he's just a sexist monster, and all of us who listen to him are that also. While FD twerking on Kevin Samuels' grave. While the entire cornbread tube space, when they mention Kevin Samuels, they like to speak of him in a vacuum. Like it was women lined up around the block to speak to Kevin Samuels every time he streamed. Because they were looking to advertise themselves. Because they were looking for the high value man. He dangled the high value man moniker in front of him, and then they told you how much contempt they had for men, for average men in specific. Huh? Too easy. And thank you for that, Compassionate. And I'm going to read y'all super chats in a minute. And Compassionate says 144 watching, 84 likes. Get the likes up. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I gave y'all 45 minutes. I gave y'all Kevin Samuels nostalgia and all. Huh? Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Kevin, you know you did a number on these folks. You've been gone for 3 years. They still mentioning you. They still twerking on your grave, trying to urinate on your grave. Oh, you did a number on these folks. Boy, they gonna resent you for a century. Kevin Samuels' name will be immortalized. Huh? Oh, man. Even in this late date, y'all bring up Kevin Samuels to defecate on him. And to use him and the effigy of him to say, hey, y'all sound like Kevin. This is what we gonna do when y'all pass away. What does it matter? I'm gone already. Uh-oh. Huh? Yeah. Even in this late date, y'all are twerking on Kevin Samuels' grave. He did a number on y'all. By doing what? Allowing for black women to show their contempt for black men? Uh-oh. Their classism? Their sexism? Their misandry? Huh? To show that at least in reference to black men, black women don't have the moral currency. Uh-oh. Huh? They don't have a monopoly on morality, at least concerning black men. Y'all never mention the women that called in and showed their ass on Kevin Samuels' show night after night. And all of these, this wasn't the worst. Smug ass 20 some odd year olds, they speaking to a 50 some odd year old man. Literally could be their father. Y'all have nothing to say about that. And you think you're doing what? These young men are going to have their experiences. And Jam can't change that. You can't change that, FD. I made mention of this earlier today. FD himself made mention of the fact that some of the men that listen to him turn around and listen to us. Yeah. As I said earlier, they listen to you for pop culture reference and hip hop reference and some political and racial references to get your take on things. But once it comes time to talk to the women or talk about the women, yeah, they coming over here. You damn right. Because they know you're not going to tell them the truth. No one in Cornbread Tube is really. Every once in a while, y'all will be honest. Just a smidge honest with them. Just a smidge. Y'all are not defending the women. Y'all are not defending black women. Y'all are lying to black men. Z, what makes you think that's any different? Ooh, yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Huh? FD got up there and laughed with them young men about Kevin Samuels. Okay, cool. But made it seem as if Kevin Samuels was evil incarnate. And that's why I kept on spamming this goddamn button.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
And I played women, both Miss Average at best. Y'all lucky I didn't get the heavyset young lady with the chest tattoo. Women and straight up saying exactly what Kevin Samuels said. Who wants to be with Average? Shout out to Pastor OG. The link is in the description box. So I'm supposed to end up with a regular type dude? Whole heavy set, chest tattoo and all. So I'm supposed to end up with a regular type dude? Okay, fine. It's not FD Signifier's job or any of the black men over there in Cornbread Tube world to address the women and their hypocrisy and their sexism and their misandry. Fine, it's not your job. Then whose job is it? Kim Foster, bang up job she's doing. Julesy, who puts out something maybe critical of this, what, once a year, maybe twice? At least on her public YouTube. Maybe she's doing something on Patreon, Mr. Z doesn't see it. Okay, possible. Who? Nappy-headed Hoba, who pretends like she is critical of this, but you let her talk long enough, then she starts drifting over that way with the weirdo and crazy women. Who? T-Noir? Khadijah? Khadijah's gone, y'all. She got a white dude. She out of here. Who? FD, what you're engaging in, this ignorance is bliss. This, I just don't want y'all to get in the women's way, and I don't want y'all to sound sexist, and I don't want you, like, don't view black women this way. I just played for you a bunch of black women and how they view black men. Huh? And rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I played the clip from South Korea so we could see what it looked like at the end of it all. And those women were in their 40s. Homegirl was was 39 years old, so 40. At least for them, they were already thinking to the future, like, okay, we're not gonna be able to support ourselves in our 60s, so we got to start trying to move the Korean government to find some government program to subsidize us. At least, as bad as it is, at least those women were thinking of that 20 some odd years out. Black women in America? Nope. Women in America, all these single ass women in America, nope. They're too busy trying to get flued out, take trips. Huh? Spend money on baby luxury cars, baby Benzes. Shout out to Indigo Flow. Huh? They're not thinking that far. Not in their 20s. Okay, somewhat understandable, especially before the age of 25. Not in their 30s. Still no. Not in their 40s. Still no. Huh? Wow. So let's play that clip The sound clip. Well, actually, let's play this and then we'll get to the sound clip.
I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, nigga, you too old for
Yeah. Kevin Samuels around the time like it got so bad, like their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuel shit because it like created that line to like the Tates of the world and everything. When I seen he died and I seen like what the we was on stream what happened, and when I seen what the online discourse was, I was like, I ain't never seen some of you niggas this broken up about like man, like what are we doing? It was the clips that I was seeing is some crazy shit. It was groups of full grown.
Let me address that. Okay, you never seen these Negroes so broken up because they finally felt like they were heard. What we've been fed for like 40 years, definitely over the past 30 some odd years. It's more than 40 years. Okay, but we gonna start it at 40 years. We gonna start it at like mid 80s. It's really early 80s. It's really 70s. True. But we'll start it in mid 80s. For like 40 years was a constant drumbeat of loser black men, secretly same-sex loving black men, uneducated black men, unsophisticated black men, unattractive black men. Huh? Minuteman black man, if y'all know what Mr. Z is saying. Huh? A constant drumbeat. Pop culture saying it to black men. Mainstream, or as mainstream as you could get, black media saying it to black men. Huh? Music saying it to black men. Movies saying it to black men. Articles saying it to black men. Straight black men are the weakest link. Y'all remember that article? Uh-oh. So we got songs in the 80s, ain't nothing going on but the rent. We have articles in the 20 teens. Straight black men are the weakest link. 40 years. Over 40 years. 40 years, constant drumbeat. So when Kevin Samuels comes on the scene, or at least when he gets popular, he's a breath of fresh air. Because he's showing you, at least at the time, with 30 some odd 40 years of unfettered, undiluted black matriarchy gynocracy, what it resulted in. And you know what it resulted in? 20 some odd year old women, 30 some odd year old women, 40 some odd year old women, 50 some odd year old women, 60 some odd year old women. God damn, Z, you about to say it. 70 some odd year old women looking for a paymaster man. You want to know where your black feminism went? There it went. Huh? What Kevin Samuels showed you is a few decades of Oprah Winfrey introducing us to a bunch of black feminists. What it resulted in is a bunch of black women. Kevin Samuels ended the show every night, still with a full queue, with a full line. Every night, black women calling in to advertise themselves to any random black man or man that earned 6 figures and above. "40 some odd years of some iteration of strong and independent." And Kevin Samuels put up a microphone, a camera, and streamed, and women were hopping, skipping, jumping, running, backflip, front flip, swimming, hand gliding, parachuting, and to speak to him, to show themselves, show themselves off. for the off chance that some six-figure man would find her attractive enough to find her somewhere and be her paymaster. And that's all Kevin Samuels had to do was say high value man. Huh? That's all he had to do was say high value man. FD, you saw this. It didn't matter how educated or uneducated the women were. It didn't matter if they were entrepreneurs. It didn't matter if they worked 9 to 5. It didn't matter if they were white collar or worked in retail. It didn't matter if they had education in the soft sciences and the hard sciences, STEM degree. They were all looking for the same thing, generally speaking. That's why I played the supporting videos from TYT, from Wisecrack, huh? From the white dude speaking about how media pretty much took away your average looking man, your short kings, your blue collar workers, and all we're getting are these specimen, huh? The elite men, mainly white, huh? And we get to see what that over years and a decade and 2 decades, what it resulted in. Delusional women who won't do their duty for God and country. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have children. Screw queer your relationships. The women said no, they don't even want to have children. You can't queer your relationships enough for them to have kids because they're selfish. Their minds belong to Milton Friedman and Ayn Rand. Wait, Z, not just their minds and their souls. God damn, not your soul is mine. Belong to Milton Friedman and Ayn Rand. FD, you make mention of that? No, that's too much. You can't critique women like that. What, we waiting for Kim Foster to do it? We'll be waiting forever. Huh? Not this Kim Foster.
Because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay, no matter what happens with my relationship status, getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. Okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but I'm going to stand on my shit. I'm going to own it. I love this. Whatever. She never switched up. Brittany's doing exactly. She's doing exactly what the manosphere niggas talk about, okay? Which is, you have a bad experience with a wealthy, high-profile person. You have a baby. You get dragged through the mud. And then you realize you're in your early 30s. This is their narrative. Their narrative is then you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize, oh, the clock is ticking. And so now you have to completely rebrand into a loud and proud pick me and scold other women about what they're not doing to get them in. That is exactly what they say. Why would stop embarrassing us? Stop embarrassing us. As a single 33-year-old woman, stop it, okay? I hope she at least, gets man she desires. I hope she gets some, good, faithful dick to swoop in or whatever, pay her car note or whatever.
That's the Kim Foster you weighing on? Or any one of those women in Cornbread Tube that agree with this type of sentiment? You think this person is going to tell the ladies, okay, look, we moving the men to the center, air quotes, the center, but ladies, we gonna need you to let go of some of those patriarchal expectations. You think Kim Foster gonna do that? Yeah, that's it. She had to grind her teeth to dust to mention the height requirement, and that's only because her man ain't tall. Huh? She had to damn near grind her teeth to dust to say, okay, ladies, look, we sound crazy about this height thing. And that's because her man ain't tall. Huh? So to the Young Brothers Jam, The young brothers on Jam, this is not to you necessarily. I don't want to see y'all get messed up out here. I know y'all appreciate that some of these women are wayward. Way worse than wayward, but we're going to say wayward. But this is directed to FD. This is directly directed to FD Signifier. And all of Cornbread Tube, who when they mention the red pill or the black manosphere or the air quotes manosphere, shout out to Coach Greg Adams, the clanosphere. Perfect title, true. They refuse to mention that the men are responding to the women, and we often have the women in studio or we playing a video from the women and we're speaking about it and we're critiquing it. Huh? The women are recording themselves with their sexist drivel, with their misandry, and we watch y'all pretend like y'all don't see it. But have a lot to say about those who are commenting on the women's sexist drivel, i.e. Kevin Samuels. Huh? To the point where y'all laughing and mocking and making fun of him. Not days after he passed, months after he passed. Not days, not weeks, not months. 3 and some odd years. The women called into Kevin Samuels' show and showed their contempt for men, for black men, for working class black men, for blue collar black men. Huh? Oh boy. This was black women with education. This was black women with no education. This was black women in the South, the Midwest, the East Coast, the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. Huh? This was women outside the country. This was black women outside the country. This was every once in a while non-black women. Whoa. Why, FD? You see, there are folks that listen to you and then they listen to us. It's because you show not just bias, but how disingenuous you are when mentioning Kevin Samuels, when mentioning the red pill, when mentioning the black manosphere. And you don't mention, well, Kevin wasn't talking to himself. Huh? Kevin wasn't talking to himself. He was talking to oftentimes rude, smug, sassy, disrespectful women. Huh? Delusional women. So let me read some of y'all super chats and then we'll continue. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right, and let me scroll all the way up. I know it was a while because that look, for those of you that just got in, y'all, you know, when you get a chance, yeah, definitely be part of Replay Squad because Mr. Z got 45 minutes. It actually ended up being closer to 47, 48 minutes of no monologues, just straight videos, some of which, right, were nostalgic because it was Kevin Samuels, right? We're just defending the brother, you know. We're just defending the brother, right? And Dre says, and he had the first super chat, and thank you for the super chat once again. Dried Popeye's biscuits tax, hysterical. And thank you, brother. Thank you, right? And they might be dry. Mr. Z still eat them, and Mr. Z eats the biscuits. Pause. That sounds kind of weird. With nothing. No butter, no anything. Z, you different. I know. No jelly, no nothing, no nothing. Right, and thank you, Dre. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Z, you a special breed. I know. And Dre also says, and I concur, I agree. And Dre says, hit the like button, stop stealing internet ninjas. And there's something extra funny about the idea of stealing internet. I don't know if it's like brings back memories of folks stealing cable, right? But the term stealing internet just tickles me. It's hysterical. I agree. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Once again, Dre says, hit the like button, stop stealing internet ninjas, which is hysterical. And Vincent Von Doom, also known as All Hell Balamuccio, also known as Pistol Pete, says late fee. And thank you, sir, for the late fee. Right? But Mr. Z is late. I guess we're even, Steven, because Mr. Z is late to reading your super chat. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. All right. And continuing. Who's next up? Are we scrolling? We're scrolling. I know I saw another one. There we go. Where did that go? Okay, it is Victor Creed. Shout out to Victor Creed. Victor Creed been riding with Z for a while, and Victor Creed says all the real ones always receive the most hate. Yeah, that's what it looked like. And that's just part of the human condition, right? What did Kevin Samuels do? Kevin Samuels put up a microphone and a camera, and he streamed, and he asked the women to rate themselves, and he showed you their contempt. No one ever speaks about black women's contempt for black men. Black women's attitude concerning black women. Well, concerning black men. Black women's attitude concerning black men. And concerning black women, if we're going to be fair, but that was a Freudian slip, maybe. Think of it. Whether she was doing well in life or not, it was a constant drumbeat of I'm better than them. I'm innately better than them. And once again, Victor Creed, thank you for the super chat. I agree with your take. That's why I continue to play this.
That's top tier. Your dick is not equal to my fucking pussies. Point blank period.
His dick ain't equal to your fucking bills neither.
God damn. Look, at the end of the day, I ain't
Them bills got your name on it. They don't have his dick name on it.
At the end of the day, I ain't fucking no broke ass nigga. Do what you want with your pussy.
Yeah, you don't have to fuck no broke ass nigga.
Straight up.
She said this vagina has a price tag on it, straight up. Do what you want to do with your vagina, but this vagina has a price tag on it. She says your private parts as a man are not equal to my private parts as a woman. In a very crass way, classless way, loud way, aggressive way, what is she saying? I'm innately worth more than you. I'm worth more than you. And for you to even try to equal me, you have to earn significantly more than me or magically come upon some money to buy me in my presence. Huh? Yeah, she's being crass and vulgar, but the message is the message. I have an innate value that you do not have. FD, are you ever going to address that view from women, in our case, black women? It's easy to mock Kevin until you realize, and I think you do realize it, that what fuels why Kevin spoke the way he spoke is because women were calling in with this type of sentiment night after night. Kevin streamed on Instagram, he streamed on YouTube, and night after night, he was coming across this sentiment from the ladies. Huh? And so the problem is, oh, Mr. Z know what the problem is. What you don't want is for the young men to become this man.
Majority of women, right, they lose their virginity voluntarily. So this is a question of just what? Trying to counter them not being able to be what? To be pure. But now, if that happens to you, now give those raped women a pass? Me, I'm an innocent man. I'm not supposed to be the one to save you from whatever that happened to your life. For me, I'm going to pick what? A virgin. Simple as that. Why do you expect men to save women? Men to understand women's past, men to understand women's stories. When these women say they don't want a broke guy, do they even care to understand that, okay, maybe this guy was born from poor parents. Maybe this guy came from a family with no connections whatsoever. Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy was an orphan? Do they ask themselves, maybe this guy is not able to catch a break? Do they ask themselves that? They still want what? A rich man. They don't give a shit about your story. Why should men give a shit about women's stories?
That's not just FD's fear, the entire society's fear. What that man just expressed is not just cornbread tubes fear, not just black leftist fear, huh? Not just the leftist fear, not just the political space's fear, not America's fear, not even just Western civilization's fear, Western society's fear. No, this is all the technocrats, I would argue, on the globe fear men, particularly young men, but fear men thinking just like how he spoke. F what they going through. Either she on my program or she's not. She doesn't care what I have to go through. I don't care what she has to go through. Either she is what I want her to be or she's not. And if she's not, well, out in the elements she goes. That it is cold. Out in the elements she goes. This is their fear. They need you to be a modern feminist, male feminist, while also kind of being like your granddaddy, but without exercising much of any type of power or influence or any direction in that home or in that community.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
FD, we ain't going. America, we ain't going. Goddamn, Z. Huh? Shout out to Black Urus. Somebody got to pay for these 304s. Yeah, but what about if we refuse? Ooh. What about if we say, yeah, shout out to KMS. If we don't get a family, you don't get a society. And that's what that man just said. If I don't get a family, you don't get a society. If I don't get a family, you don't get an enthusiastic participant in this society. And at scale, now you got a problem. See, if it's him by himself, who cares? But at scale, oh, that's a problem. But the women said they don't want to have kids or get married. Because they feel bad, because they feel like they're being cheated, because they're not ending up with the elite man. And it's not fair.
That's not fair. That is not fair! That is not
Huh? Because they're not ending up with the elite men that they done seen in the movies and the TV shows. And who wants to be with average anyway? Play the clip again, Z.
Rom-coms used to tell men you're lovable as you are. Now they tell everyone if you're not elite, don't bother. You see, we didn't just change casting, we rewired expectations. Adam Sandler, Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, Mike Myers, Jack Black, Michael J. Fox, Steve Carell, John Cusack, Ben Stiller, Seth Rogen, Billy Crystal, LL Cool J, Kevin Hart, Nicolas Cage, even the guys on Friends. Short guys, dad bods, balding guys, awkward guys, funny guys, men with blue-collar jobs, men you could actually imagine knowing. Rom-coms used to sell something radical. You don't have to be perfect to be lovable. Compare that to today. I'm fine with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell falling in love, but when every romantic lead looks like a Marvel casting call, something breaks. Hallmark hunks, Netflix hunks, Instagram filter hunks. Take Emily in Paris. The young women are smart and attractive, but struggling to make a name for themselves and pay rent. And yet somehow they can't seem to settle down with supermodel men who are well-dressed and accomplished Michelin star chefs and multi-millionaire heirs to their parents' fashion empires. One of the central characters, Sylvie, is a 62-year-old woman married to a handsome man who is 8 years younger than her, which is fine. But she also keeps hooking up with a 6'3" male model half her age. This is also the plot of every romance novel. A simple, average girl somehow catches the attention of a handsome prince. I get it. It's female fantasy, but it's also aspirational in all the wrong kind of ways. And we're seeing the effects in real life. Dating app data consistently shows that women overwhelmingly swipe on a small fraction of men. Tall, high-income, conventionally handsome men. A single guy who's over 6 feet and makes over $100,000 is a statistical anomaly, yet that's become the baseline expectation. So what happens when women who are 7s and 8s hold out for 9s and 10s? Men who are 6s and 7s opt out entirely, and everyone feels like something is wrong. Our brains are prediction machines. The media we consume trains what we expect and what we think we deserve. For the first time in modern history, fewer women say they want to get married than men. More people are living alone. Loneliness rates are exploding. This isn't about blaming women, and it's not about shaming men. It's about culture that stopped celebrating character and started selling unattainable ideals. We don't just need fewer attractive people on screen. We need equal pairings that feel realistic. Give us short kings. Give us plumbers, teachers, and social workers, not heirs to European wine empires. Give us men without six-packs and women without filters. Because when media teaches people that love only happens at the top 1%, everyone else gives up. And that's not romance. That's a recipe for cynicism and loneliness.
And that's exactly why I played this clip initially after the clip of Wisecrack speaking about Malcolm in the Middle and speaking about how Lifetime advertisement was sold to the girls who are now women straight to the veins, hair on. Not heroin, hair on. Those girls are now women. Y'all don't want to, and I got you the Arena Revised. I'll put the link in the description box after the stream, right? But I forgot to put it in, and because I like the videos so that it's in my Instagram, so I liked it. I'll go to my like history and I'll put the link in the description box after the stream. So give it a few minutes after the stream and I should have it up. And the Arena Revised says, what page is this guy, right? So yeah, it's from Instagram, right? So I'll have it for you guys after the stream. Right? No, I see what he's doing. And Starman says Goofy Ninja said 7 and 8's like there's a bunch to go around. No, I see what he's doing. He's attempting not to offend the women. Y'all should see the comments. They still offended. It is mainly white women. Y'all should see the comments. They're still offended. They're still raging at it. Look, the man tried to be as straight down the middle as humanly possible. And the women were still offended because you're not supposed to critique women and their hypocrisy in the dating and mating world. You're not supposed to tell them they messing up the entire society. You can't tell them that. Children. Petulant children. Huh? You can't tell them they're delusional. You can't tell, hey, that math don't math. You can't tell them that at scale, your idea, we're not going to begrudge you your air quote standards. But too many of y'all have that standard. And at scale, that's a problem. Huh? Look how dude tried to walk it down the middle, and if y'all go through them comments, the women were still raging. But of course, we can critique. Are you listening, FD? We can critique men and what they find attractive and appealing all day, every day, but you can't do that for the ladies. We can't tell them that they're full of crap. We can't even do basic math with them. Huh? So yeah, he tried to soften the blow by saying the women's were 7 and 8s. Or 6s and 7. He didn't even say 6s and 7. He said 7 and 8s. He tried to soften the blow. It still didn't matter. They still were raging in the comments. Huh? Exactly. And essentially that's what they were saying, Afro Merchant. That's exactly what they were saying.
That's not fair! That is not fair!
And Afro Merchant says that's not fair. And the comments for that, that's exactly what they're saying. Huh? Were those the words they were using? No. They were. This seems a little patriarchal. This it gives a tinge of sexism. You go through the comments and they all saying that. What are they really saying? Say it again, Afro Merchant.
That's not fair! That is not fair!
And to the ladies, I just want y'all to know that men been on the planet with y'all for like 250,000 years, and we know y'all don't really mean what y'all saying. Oh, this seems a little patriarchal. The framing. What you really saying is, play it again, Z, for the third time.
That's not fair! That is not fair!
Huh? And yes, we're still talking about FD Signifier twerking on Kevin Samuels' grave. Huh? Those young brothers from Jam, I said it earlier today, let me say it again. I hope they never find out the hard way. Why men were responding to, black men in specific, were responding to the death of Kevin Samuels the way they were. I hope they never figure out why. I hope they never get it. I hope they never got to go through it for their sake. Because that's going to be a hard lesson. And it's going to hurt double when you come to the realization, wait for it, that Kevin Samuels was right. Oh, and then you're going to have to pretend like you still don't get it? Oh, and if y'all still have this channel, you're going to have to pretend like you still don't get it. And then whenever Kevin Samuels' name is brought up, you're going to have to defecate on his name still, while knowing why he was the way he was and why he said the things he said, and why so many men were listeners and followers of his, even when we disagreed. Oh, that's gonna hurt when you gotta pretend like you still disagree with Kevin Samuels, and you gotta fake laugh at other men twerking on his grave. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I hope for y'all's sake y'all never go through it. Huh? Oh boy. So let's read a couple more super chats. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Ghetto User says, and thank you for the super chat. Support the show. And thank you, brother. Thank you. And thank you for your support. Yeah. And keep it 100 laughing. Right, keep it 100 laughing. I don't remember what I said that made him laugh or what I played. But and Leon, this is hysterical. Excuse me. And Leon says, and thank you for the super chat, mac and cheese tax and sweet tea to wash it down to the biscuit. I've never been a sweet tea person like that. Z, you about to get your black card fully revoked. Yeah, don't really do it. So you don't like barbecue sauce and you don't really care for sweet tea? Look, I'm not anti-sweet tea. But Z, I don't know, Z. You got about one more thing, Z. Sweet tea is not bad. It's just right. And well, mac and cheese, I like mac and cheese, so yeah. All right, Z, all right. All right. Stay of execution. Stay of execution. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And the split jump, I'm going to get to that super chat in a minute, but let me move up to Starman and read this because he put this first. And Starman says, I remembered my password tax, and that's funny. Would you lost? You forgot your password? Or you forgot your what? Your StreamYard's password? And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Indigo Flow says, baby Ben's tax, because it's funny. And by the way, baby bins, like for those of you that are too young, we really used to use that in the 90s. Baby bins and big body bins. But big body bins, we said it's so weird because it almost sounded, in certain places, it sounded like it was like an it in there, like big body bins. I'm like, what? For some of us that remember, big body bins. So big body bins was like the S class, right? Baby bins was the C class. Right now, the C class is as big as the E class. The E class is as big as the S class. S class, especially the long wheelbase, no pun. The long wheelbase S class is goddamn a boat. It's a tank. It's the Titanic. Same thing with the long wheelbase 7 Series Beamer, which is ugly. And I maintain the 7 Series long wheelbase. The 7 Series is just ugly. Sorry to all you Beamer heads. Beaver teeth, ugly split lights is just ugly. I'm sorry to all the Beamer heads. I maintain this new generation. It's not new. It's like 3 years old now. 3 years. It's ugly. It's ugly like the first generation Panamera. Goddamn Z, I hate that you saying this about a Porsche. The first generation Panamera was ugly. It looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. They're ugly. Y'all just like it because of the badge. Goddamn Z, I know. And no, I did not forget about you, Vince. I will be doing the car roasting stream soon. Right? We gonna do the car roasting stream. This is coming. And see, and Vince says, I'm not Vince, Leon says the fake laughs were the worst part of the video. And let's play it. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and here we go. Mr. Zika Father, where did it go? Red, there we go.
I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, nigga, you too old for that.
Yeah. Kevin Samuels around the time like it got so bad, like their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuel shit because it like created that line to like the Tates of the world and everything. When I seen he died and I seen like what the
we went
on stream what happened, and when I seen what the online discourse was, I was like, I ain't never seen some of you niggas this broken up. About like, like what are we doing?
It was
the clips that I was seeing is some crazy
It was
shit.
groups of full-grown men going down the street and marching for this nigga.
I seen like at least 10 to 15 grown-ass niggas just online bawling their eyes out.
His core guiding principle was anti-blackness.
Yes.
Just period. And it just so happened, as a black man, he aimed it more at black women.
I remember the day
Kevin was anti-black and he aimed it at black women. I just played a bunch of black women sounding real anti-black, but walking through the door of class, walking through the door of education, walking through the door of income, walking through the door of status. But you know where they ended up? In a very anti-black man space. Except, of course, for the top elite black men or any white man. Ooh, goddamn Z. We could never forget about that part. But Kevin Samuels was the anti-black one. Not the women that were calling in and saying, who wants to be with average anyway? Huh? Yeah. Not them. Not them who said, we don't got to build with you no more. We don't need you no more. But build a business with us. Not them. They're not anti-black. Okay, yeah, that's it. But Kevin Samuels is. Continuing.
I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, nigga, you too old for that.
Kevin Samuels around the time like it got so bad, like their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuel shit because it like created that line to like the Tates of the world and everything. When I seen he died and I seen like what the we went on stream what happened, and when I seen what the online discourse was, I was like, I ain't never seen some of you niggas this broken up about like like what are we doing? It was the clips that I was seeing is some crazy
It was groups of full-grown men going down the street and marching for this nigga.
I seen like at least 10 to 15 grown ass niggas just online bawling their eyes out.
His core guiding principle was anti-blackness.
Yes.
Just period. And it just so happened, as a black man, he aimed it more at black women.
I remember the day he passed on stream. And I remember we were talking about it. What you said, I'm not gonna say it. But what did I say? You was like that nigga. I think we was. I was trying to be correct.
It's the funny. No. You good. I was literally making my first Manosphere video, and I just finished recording the section on him. And I went in something ugly because I was like, I know he's gonna come after me, so I'm gonna just have to go in. It is what it is. And then like literally stop record. I look like this nigga died. And I called him a coon and all kinds of shit. And so I was like, listen, as much as I believe what I said, maybe like having that right after is not a good taste.
Mine was like, I was on stream and I was new to the streaming shit, and I'm still like, the gear is still trying to turn for me. I didn't really know where I was supposed to go. I only knew, nigga, how do me and my niggas get money? We all broke as shit. We all shitty. So bullshit. I hear Kevin Samuels die. I'm like, hey, bro, y'all gotta chill, you know. Hey, RP to my nigga. This nigga JJ come out of nowhere. That nigga died on a girl or something. He like, that bitch ass nigga died on a girl. I was like, he was like, all that shit that nigga was talking. It's like one of the funniest.
Shout out to the young brother Bizarro Quavo. He seems to be the better storyteller of the group. Shout out to that brother. So as y'all can see, it's funny to still be twerking. I thought the women would have words twerking on Kevin Samuels' grave. Apparently, men can twerk too. And the men are twerking on Kevin Samuels' grave. I'm not going to go in so much on Jam, pause. But FD Signifier, on the other hand, should know better. Right? So let me get this right. Kevin Samuels passes a few hours after getting some good the night before. And the problem is, wait a minute. We've done heard lies that Kevin Samuels passed alone. He passed on her. But he definitely passed a few hours after getting some good. And the problem is, wait a minute, that's a problem? You see what I'm saying, Stefan? Good way to go out. Wait a minute, how is this a problem? Wait, is there a better death? Where's the better death? Huh? But once again, when it's time to insult black men, insult a person that was showing the black community that your daughters aren't as infallible and great and moral, and empathetic and sympathetic and understanding, right? They're not as giving as you say, not concerning black men at least, Instead of us addressing what Kevin Samuels showed every night through the actions of the women and the girls, well, women, because he only spoke to adults. Instead of us addressing that, we would rather just mock him and make fun of him in death. In death. And how does this benefit women? Well, it doesn't, because, well, Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S. Decades of defecating on black men. And once again, Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the U.S., particularly black women. Childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America, on average. Oh boy. And what happens as those single childless black women age year after year, decade after decade? A disproportionate number of black women are kinless as they age. Advocates say they deserve a social safety net too. You mean kind of how the South Korean women are advocating? Yeah. Shout out to all the women who think you're not going to do your societal duty. We'll see about that. Shout out to all the women, including black women, who think you're not going to do your societal duty. We'll see. To all the millennial women, particularly millennial black women, we will see. It sounds good. The oldest of us are like, what, 43, 44, 45-ish? We'll see. There's going to be a cost to that. I hope you saving. Huh? Yeah. That's the cost. And St. Nick says, and thank you for the super chat, the brainwashing is real. They're a lost cause. St. Nick said, look, Z, don't be throwing out no life rafts, no buoys. Don't throw out a rope and try to pull them in. Let them drown. St. Nick said, look, they're a lost cause, Z. You can't do nothing. Don't swim out. Don't try to get your Baywatch out. Don't try to get your Baywatch in. Let them drown. You ain't David, what's his name, Hasselhoff? St. Nick said, ain't no saving them. Shout out to Project Pat. I hear you saying, Nixon. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right, and talking about that, let's see. I forgot one before I get to. Yeah, we did that. Okay, I think. Yeah, read that. Just making sure we got all of them. And I'm reading some of y'all other comments randomly also. Okay, all right. The big old fitty. And let's read that from a Split Jim. And a Split Jim says, and thank you for the super chat. Z, my job puts me around a lot of young people. Had a high school 17-year-old girl reciting the same old I want to be independent of a man rhetoric. Shaking my head, I said, girl, don't let these bitter women from my age bracket jade you. Crazy. Yeah. And that's what ends up happening, right? That's what ends up happening. Look, I've said it on my channel. I want young men to go experience life, but be careful. Be careful for the young women who were jaded by their mothers, who were raised to be these little black widows, essentially, by the women in their life, right? Their mothers, aunts, grandmothers, female elders. But that's not exactly what happens with the women, huh? They're encouraged to use men, abuse men. Mrs. E, you said the word, goddamn, I know. Assault men, we'll say. They're encouraged to do that. And we have folks who will back them and support them and defend them. Huh? So yeah, no, the I want to be independent, it sounds good when you're young, right? When you're young and everything is just right and everything is tight, no pun, right? It sounds good. It sounds good when you can jump out the bed with no problem in the morning, when nothing aches and there's no pains and huh? It sounds good. It sounds good when you have all these friends and associates. Huh? It sounds good. When you still clubbing or going to the bar, or at least being social, y'all finding whatever third spaces still exist. to hang out. It sound good. That independent thing sound good until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. It sounds empowering. It feels empowering. No pun. Huh? Until it doesn't. And that lets you know, once again, how these young women are being raised and socialized. This is the thing that none of those bread tube or cornbread tube folks will acknowledge. That the girls and the women are being raised and socialized to be little antagonistic asshole trolls. Right? Be mean to men, decenter men, all that sound good. Huh? Even Gabby Sidibe just said it on Godfrey's channel, right? Be mean to men. And then you gotta love the way they frame it afterward. Because women have done so much and we've overextended ourselves from men. And guess what men are doing? Pulling back from society, and your bridges are collapsing now. Oops. Uh-oh. Yeah. And the ladies are being harassed on the train by I'll say it, other men now. And guess what? There's no good Samaritan to jump in and help them anymore. Huh? Yeah, what happened? Decenter men. That's what happened. Street harassment campaign. That's what happened. Me too. That's what happened. You damn right. Huh? Be mean to men. That's what happened. Everybody want to be independent until it's time to be independent. Hope y'all know how to fight. Hope I got pepper spray. I don't suggest this. This is bad for social cohesion. Huh? This is a recipe for disaster. This is unsustainable. But ladies, you said you wanted this. Huh? Sound good until you're in the situation. Mr. Z doesn't advocate for this. But too many women claiming that independent thing. Until it's time to pay the cost for that. And you never know when it's going to be time to pay the cost for that. Huh? Mr. Z saw all those videos of those folks snowed in the Northeast and men digging people out of snow. And you hear so many men, black men. Huh? Shout out to all you women who say y'all strong and independent. Y'all don't need no man. Huh? FD, did you work around this? Ooh. For those of you that don't know why I say that, FD had a conversation with Themis sometime last year or the year before, 2024, 2025, something like that. And he essentially told Themis that Themis doesn't have to worry about the Black Manosphere. He's worked around us. Meanwhile, random men digging people, women, out the snow and using Black Manosphere talking points. You worked around us, huh? Yeah, that's it. Let me say again. If you can't have someone subsidize black women, then you did not work around us. Huh? If someone's not paying for these 304s, shout out to Black Guru, then you did not work around us. That's frightening that a split gym has 17-year-olds, not even technically a legal adult, talking about being independent at 17 years old. Extra women didn't tell her what the cost of that is, Vivica A. Fox. Uh-oh. Yeah. Single women keeping women single. So we got a 17-year-old who's talking about her independence. And that's the words the women use, right? Independent, autonomy, free, liberated, liberation, liberatory. Yeah. Sound good until you got to pay that full ass cost. This is what Kevin Samuels showed us night after night. The women want their autonomy subsidized by the wealthiest, most elite man they could possibly find. And the elite men are having fun with them. And the average men, if they can't get something meaningful, they're just removing themselves. And as the white dude said, everybody feels hurt. As Mr. Z is going to say and be dismissive, but only one of our hurts is legitimate, and I don't care who feelings I just hurt with that one. Oops. Huh? Yeah, I said it. Huh? And I am Waffles says, and thank you for the super chat, they think it's acceptable to twerk on Kevin Samuels' grave. Problem is, these 304 has been dancing on black men's graves for a minute. Kobe, Tyree Nichols, yep, Stephen Clark, etc. I remember those two. I remember Stephen Clark. I remember the debate they had on the Grapevine about it, right? I remember Tyree Nichols. I remember Paris Milan thinking it was the funniest thing in the world, being so smug about it. Huh? I covered that actually. I remember Kobe Bryant. I remember reading those comments on Twitter. I refuse to call it air quotes X. I remember reading those comments on Twitter from black women. That B word, that yitch, Vanessa gonna get that money, and the Orisha African goddess, whatever the hell they were talking about, took him because he disgraced the black people because he didn't marry a black woman. Yeah, black women were talking all type of crazy on the internet when Kobe Bryant passed. That's good. They took him and his favorite daughter, all type of, yeah, Mr. Z was see. Yes, those comments are real. Yes, Mr. Z's not making that up. Yeah, I remember that. The comments I'm mentioning, I read with my own two eyes. This is not something anyone told me. This is not even something that I saw in a video on YouTube or on Instagram. No, I read those comments off of Twitter with my own two eyes. And yes, it was real black women. It wasn't some racist white troll, some 12-year-old white troll pretending to be a black woman. So yeah, I Waffles. I remember. Huh? Yeah. Exactly, the dark mother and all this weirdo stuff they be talking. Huh? You couldn't pay me enough, King Pix. And King Pix says, how much money would someone have to give you to take down Gabby City Bay? You couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough. Let's put it this way, to keep it PG on the channel. I couldn't get excited. If y'all get what, well, the men in here mailing out at me, y'all know what Mr. Z is saying. I couldn't get excited, bro. You couldn't pay me enough. I couldn't get excited. Huh? Mind over matter, I get it. Mind over matter. I couldn't get excited. Huh? So definitely wanted to cover this. I don't think I'm gonna play the sound clip. Oh, you know what? Brace thyselves. We're gonna play it.
on a cheap laptop, like whatever. But when I saw it, I was just so excited about making something like that. That I was like, I gotta keep making things. And I did know, because of like my previous work and my experiences, that I wanted to do something to expand the concept of black manhood in my content. Like,
Let's pause right there so that we could do our fair use, so that we don't get a strike. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Continuing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
Manhood in my content. Like, I wanted that to be a focus because I didn't see that on YouTube. I was a constant consumer. I barely saw black people at all.
Especially early YouTube.
Right,
like,
oh
my God.
And nobody was really engaging. There was already like black feminists were one of the first Black communities on social media, period. And so, and then, and the only other group there was the Black Manospheres. Like,
Then you got KSI, Black Parents or minstrel show.
And so, like, so after that, I started getting really serious. I started like researching, like, okay, how does all this work? And I wasn't really getting anywhere. And it was a Black film. Shout out to Khadijah and Bo, who gave me a shout out. And that kind of like sparked a little bit in the algorithm. And then literally 2 weeks later, I went viral for this Bo Burnham video. And I was just around with that one. And after that, after I got my check, is when I started to become political. Actually, the Bo Burnham check was so big. I was like, my dad and like all these other dudes would smack the shit out of me if I got this check and then did another video on like Coming to America or something like that. It has to get a little more serious at this point. I got to put skin in the game. And then so becoming political then makes you bread tube and puts you in the space with all this other energy. And I think I was above average politically, so to speak. Like I knew more than the average person. I was further left than the average person because I was involved in all this actual real life stuff. But I hadn't reread. I had a PhD. I was working on a PhD, but I had read Rest of the Earth for a class. You know what I'm saying? I read Souls of Black Folks and all these other Communist Manifesto for a class. And the way I was set up at the time, because I was a new father, I'm getting through this, I'm writing this paper, I gotta go to work in the morning, I got 15 minutes with my son, like, so I wasn't really digesting. But
bear with us, everyone. It's going to take a few minutes. He's going to get to it, but I just want y'all to get the context of how they got to the Kevin Samuels part of the conversation. Continuing.
All of a sudden, I was really like sitting with stuff because now I had to teach it through a video. And then shout out to, you know, other people that popped up, Foreman, Foreign Land, you know, the Cornbread Tube people. I'm about to get a bunch of. I just know Foreman was the first person I found, and then elders who corrected and said I wasn't doing good enough, like Dr. Jared Ball and the Black Power Media crew. They were like, all right, this is cool and all, but read that shit again. Get this stuff right. And that's kind of where I am, and that's pretty much depicting where I am now.
Yeah, I feel like it was a similar, at least when it came to the beginning for me, because one of the things that made me want to keep driving, like, and making political content, like, through TikTok and everything, was the lack of, I still didn't see many Black, especially Black men in, like, the political space. I seen, like, you, and then, but that was even YouTube. On TikTok,
it was J. William J.
It was Trump supporters constantly, especially in 2020.
Most of them were
quarantine.
Black
They were doing the hat thing where they were like, Trump 2020. It was like a whole segment of content where they just say like a one-liner and then say Trump 2020, and it was that for like an entire year. Oh my god, that was everywhere. And I'm looking at it. There wasn't even like a lot of like Black TikTokers that were like left or talking politics or whatever. The only ones that you would see were the ones who got propped up for being right wing, which we'll talk about Candace and them in a second. But like that, I feel like that was one of the driving things, at least for me, motivation wise, because it really didn't seem like there was a lot of voices speaking, especially the younger Black people. Like it felt like everything was kind of talked, especially from like a, you know, Democrat Republican lens and like who's voting XYZ. But like when it came to the culture, like there's whole cultural aspects on the video game, on all these communities that came through 2K now. But like there was never any like counterbalance.
There wasn't a person doing the speak. Like we all knew. I would even say in like, because like me and Alan came from a different side, more so like the game and more so like kind of like the Aiden Ross Twitch era, shit like that. So it's like we even knew all of this stuff, but it was nobody talking about it in that space like at all.
As much as you saw people that looked like you, they weren't talking about the problem.
So you damn sure wasn't trying to blow up off talking about that on Twitter. Like when I started,
it wasn't. The algorithms have always preferred Black men, either Aiden Rossified, you know, swag, or swag's still a word. Whatever the word. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at outfits, right? And then like, or you doing shit. And that's like it. So there was no real room. And then the only room for Black political intellectuals was your Michael Eric Dyson. So very very buttoned up, mostly in front of a white audience. Never for actual Black people. For me, one of the biggest things that made me go harder was Kevin Samuels blowing up.
So that was kind of.
I think that's when all the gear. That's when all the gear started turning. All the gear started.
I was like, no, I can't. This is crazy. And I had homies. I had like people I went to school with that were like becoming Kevin Samuelites going into their 40s. I'm like, you too.
So once again, FD says, and he said this before, that one of the things that got him involved is to counterbalance Kevin Samuels. But what about counterbalancing the women calling into Kevin Samuels? Is it Z? It gotta be Z. Would we even know who Kevin Samuels was? We would know in the Black Manosphere, but would the rest of Black America, definitely social media and the internet, know who Kevin Samuels was if the women didn't call in? Y'all didn't know who Kevin was pre the women calling in, pre him turning away from the men and then focusing on the women. If the women didn't call in because they saw the little carrot, he was dangling a little carrot in front of them, no pun. It's funny, I know. Dangling the carrot of high value man in six figures, would we even know who Kevin Samuels is? Once again, the Black Manosphere would know he came from the Black Manosphere. Would y'all know who Kevin Samuels is? So you felt the need to be a counterbalance to Kevin Samuels, to the point where you was damn near ready to put out a hit piece on him, going in on him, pause, but he passed. But it's been 3 or some odd years later, FD Signifier, and have you addressed the fact that the women, oh, I remember now, internalized misogyny. Yeah. Internalized patriarchy. Yeah. As Bell Hooks says, patriarchy has no gender. Yeah. Not female self-interest, not selfishness, not hypocrisy. No. Internalized misogyny or patriarchy. Pick me behavior. Not I know what I want and I'm going to get what I want. And to hell with what these feminists talking about. No. Internalized misogyny and patriarchy. Not I want a certain lifestyle and I will pick the air quotes toxic man over the good man that doesn't earn as much. Yeah, not that. Not that. So you want to be a counterbalance to Kevin Samuels without addressing the women who were calling into Kevin Samuels and boiling men down to nothing much more than a walking wallet, ATM machine, or credit card, and an overglorified guard dog. Oh, and a status symbol. Definitely a status symbol. No, you don't want to address that part. The one Kevin Samuels, but not the hundreds of women that he spoke to on that show. Possibly thousands. Yeah, okay, that's it. Continuing.
And you know that's how the shit was. Yeah, it did take a hold. Like, cause he was like almost in the forefront of the red pill movement.
Oh yeah,
like,
I wouldn't call him the forefront, but the Black Manosphere is actually older than the red pill. Believe it or not, that started like late 2010. I'm sorry, late 2000s. Like I said, when black feminists got there first, you know, don't nothing attract the worst nigga in the world like a black feminist.
Yeah.
Everything they wanted to talk about. Right. And so they followed that movement, and that like they were there like simmering below the surface for a long time. So Samuels, the irony was a reject of the Manosphere because they thought he was kind of effeminate. And he was funny. He was also like not good at talking. Because early.
Y'all need to stop trying to rewrite this history. Kevin Samuels was part of the Black Manosphere. The internal debate did not mean that he was a reject. He was part of the Black Manosphere. He shouted out people from the Black Manosphere while he was streaming. Shout out to Charles Faulkner Jr. Shout out to BGS. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Huh? What are you talking about? He had disagreements with brothers on what direction would be best for black men and boys, but he wasn't rejected. Huh? Oh, you mean he found his voice? He rebranded. Oh, that's a different way of saying, said differently, he found his voice, he found his lane. Oh, he rebranded. You mean he found his voice and found his lane? That's what you meant? That he was working to see which voice, what wardrobe, what haircut, facial hair, no facial hair. He found his lane and found his voice. That's what you mean? Nice choice of words. He rebranded. Okay, yeah, that's it. Continuing.
The content is embarrassing.
Yeah.
If you ever
I haven't seen the early.
I've only seen like the later. I've seen like a few of his early stuff, and I'm like,
I'm like, by disrespecting black
Yeah,
men.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
reason why
That's the reason why he blew up.
And so when I saw that, and because I know most of the men in my world are mostly aligned with me. They might even be as far left as I am now, but like they were comfortable with where I was at, right? And then you see a person like Samuel blow up. I'm like, where's the counterbalance?
Yeah,
exactly. I guess it's got to be me.
Yeah.
FD, you always existed. Men like you always existed. The reason why nobody got in Kevin Samuels' way, first of all, that momentum was crazy. But that takeoff and that momentum was crazy, number one. Number two, because we had brothers like you. Very smart brothers, you forgot? Why do you think we made fun of them and mocked them on Twitter with the Roots articles? Huh? Even Boyce Watkins, I'm gonna leave that alone, too easy. Even Boyce Watkins got in on the joke. Huh? Men like you weren't missing. It was men like Kevin Samuels going mainstream that was missing. Huh? Going viral that was missing. That's what was missing. Huh? Men like you who told other black men, simmer down, move out the women's way, she's right. Men like you never went anywhere. No, Kevin was the counterbalance, not you, FD. Do you do it a little bit better? Maybe have a little bit more pizzazz on your channel? More intellectual? Yeah. But you're not the counterbalance. Huh? Let's be very clear. Yes, Cornbread Tube is naming themselves now and coalescing around themselves and every... Yeah, no, the Black Manosphere is the counterbalance. That little misandrous drivel y'all been putting out, the no, black men just protect, provide, and shut up, but we're going to frame it like our real issue is that you're not emotionally intelligent enough and that you're sexist and colorist and features and fatphobic and anti-black. Huh? Cornbread Tube isn't the counterbalance. The Black Manosphere is the counterbalance. Huh? The reason why y'all don't address Kevin Samuels in the women that called in is because you cannot address it without admitting that goddamn he got a point. Those black men have a point. The Black Manosphere has a point. More than one point. That's why y'all are so hyper focused on Kevin Samuels in a vacuum. Huh? We get it. Continuing.
Yeah, that's literally the thought process. Because literally, Kevin Samuels around the time, like, it got so bad, like, their kids our generation that was really on that Kevin Samuels shit because it, like, created that line to, like, the Tates of the world and everything. So I remember even seeing, like,
young men have real, if y'all were young, so we're talking about 4 years and y'all are in your early 20s, so y'all were in your late teens. So what, y'all are not having not so great experiences with black girls when you're 16, 17, 18? Y'all really swore by the algorithm. And I'm not saying the algorithm isn't incentivized to feed folks enraging content. What I am saying is the reason why young men gravitate and listen is because men like you, FD, don't address their real experiences with girls and women. Black girls and women. Black girls and women in their sexism, in their misandry, in their hypocrisy. FD, it's not just you. It's not just Cornbread Tube. It's not just Bread Tube. It's the entire society. At least the conservatives address it and then tell you to go back to picking the cotton. The left tells you it's a figment of your imagination and you just a sexist monster. You're viewing this the wrong way. She didn't insult your manhood. What's manhood? God damn, Z. Huh? The left has a problem with the right trying to say, yeah, we need to go back to a 1950s Leave It to Beaver model of manhood. Okay, fine. I agree. We're not going back to that. What is your counter narrative? Oh, wait, you don't have one. Oh, wait, you think you have one. It's telling the men to overproduce for the women and get nothing. Overproduce for the women that are snarky, sassy, mean, rude, condescending, materialistic, consumerist assholes and overweight as hell. Goddamn. And you still may not get any vagina, but you still better overproduce for society, for the children you never had, for the woman you never had. Well, damn. Continuing.
Like when I seen he died, and I seen like what the
We're on stream.
what the
He was
actual, we went on stream what happened. When I seen what the online discourse was, I was like, I ain't never seen some of you this broken up about like, man, like what are we doing?
It was the clip that I was seeing is some crazy.
It was groups of full grown men going down the street and marching for this. You would have thought he saved the black community.
I seen like at least 10 to 15 grown ass online bawling their eyes out because of Kevin Samuels.
It's so sad.
It's
and he was a Republican. A lot of people don't know that.
He's a Republican.
I didn't know that. He's a registered Republican.
Okay, exactly.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. You hear it if you think about it hard enough, because his core guiding principle was anti-blackness.
Yes,
just period. And it just so happened, as a black man,
once again, his core guiding principle was anti-blackness, but not black women. Not black women who told you they don't want to work with you. Black women who essentially have black men as, in case of mercy, break glass. They're not anti-black though. Huh? Huddling up on the most elite of elite men, not even just black men. That's not anti-black. Huh? Not factoring in black people's socioeconomic position, black men in specific socioeconomic position, even though they earn more than black women, but okay, fine. Not considering that, no, that's not anti-black. Being ahistorical, no, that's not anti-black. Being highly materialistic and consumerist, no, that's not anti-black. None of that's anti-black, right? Saying who wants to be with average anyway? No, that's not anti-black. White collar over blue collar, and then defecating on blue collar. It's not even just a preference. Defecating on blue collar, no, that's not anti-black. Defecating on white collar that doesn't earn enough, no, that's not anti-black. Huh? Mocking men who have a 9-to-5, no, that's not anti-black. No, no. None of that's anti-black, right? Oh boy. Continuing.
People don't even, and I remember the day he passed on stream, and I remember we were talking about it. What you said, I'm not gonna say it. What did I say? You was like, that nigga, I think we was, I was trying to be correct.
It's the funny.
No, you good.
Oh, I was literally making my first Manosphere video, and I just finished recording the section on him, and I went in something ugly because I was like, I know he's gonna come after me, so I'm gonna just have to go in. It is what it is. And then I literally stopped recording. I look like this nigga died. Did I work quick? And I called him all kinds of shit. And so I was like, listen, as much as I believe what I said, maybe like having that right after it's not a good taste.
Mine was like, I was on stream, and I was new to the streaming shit, and I'm still like, the gear is still trying to turn for me. I didn't really know where I was supposed to go. I only knew, how do me and my niggas get money? We all broke as shit. We all shitty. How do we get money? How do I get money? I gotta be catching that. So I'm being catching that. So bullshit. I hear Kevin Samuels dying. I'm like, hey, bro, y'all gotta.
That's the brother from Jam admitting that, look, empty pockets will cause people to move and think differently. This is them. FD admitted that the big money, that Bo Burnham check was just so crazy. Okay, cool. But these are the young brother from Jam's telling you, and when I played it earlier too, He's telling me, yeah, look, I'm just trying to figure out. All my friends are broke. We trying to figure out where the big money at. And this is what they figured out. So once again, you're dealing with people who gonna get theirs and they're gonna sell you the soap. So these young men, whether they believe what they're selling or not, and I think to a certain extent they do, now that door is opening for them, because even Melissa Ford shouted them out, right? Now that door is open for them, now they have FD. FD's huge in on Black YouTube now. Pause. Over 1 million subscribers. These brothers are gonna mess around, date around, marry, go sell off in the sunset with their life, selling other young men what exactly? Concerning young Black men and their view of themselves, of women, of Black women in specific. Huh? These dudes are not going to do friend zone. Hoping, wishing, and praying to graduate into intimate relationship with these women. There will be none of this weirdo stuff y'all talking with community. Your version of community, where men still overproduce for women, for her presence. Have fun with that. Continuing.
I gotta chill, you know. Hey, RP to my JJ come out of nowhere. That nigga died on a girl. And I was like, she like, that bitch ass nigga died on a girl. I was like, he was like, all that shit that was talking. It's like one of the funniest clips.
He died of like had a heart attack from Viagra.
Yeah, he had too many pills.
I know the full details.
Yeah.
Let's address this from Leon. And Leon says, Z, why is FD lying about the timeline of when Kevin started talking about chaos? When he started talking about chaos. I don't think they care. I think he got the timeline a little wrong. It might be a mistake, but quite frankly, doesn't even matter. Does Jams, first of all, are they old enough to even know? Were they paying attention to the Black Manosphere? Number one. Number two, does it even matter when you're defecating? You're using Kevin Samuels as an effigy, and you're defecating on him because you're actually attempting to defecate on us, on the living. It's using Kevin Samuels as an example, defecating on him as an example. It doesn't matter whether you have the timeline or not, right or not, excuse me. It doesn't matter if you have the timeline correct or not. As a matter of fact, the disrespect of not having the timeline correct is the point. It's part of the point. It's another way of saying bye, Felicia. It's another way of whenever you see white folks purposely mispronounce, in air quotes, ethnic person's name, when they mispronounce an ethnic person's name, and you could tell it's low-key on purpose. Shout out to you, Bill O'Reilly. The whole point is the disrespect. So FD getting the timeline wrong, it doesn't matter. That's a bye Felicia moment. Does it matter if I get the timeline wrong? I'm going at you right now. I'm insulting you right now. I'm mocking you and making fun of you right now. Part of that is getting your timeline and your lore wrong. Right? And thank you for the comment, Leon. It gave me a chance to kind of answer that. Yes. All right. And Vince says defecating while twerking is crazy. I'm just saying. There was a story of a lady. I don't remember whether it was here or France. If it was the U.S. or France, and she ran a marathon without her sanitary pads. And she leaked. She leaked and she ran it. And that, by the way, that was on purpose. That was the point. Yeah. So if she could do it, I guess you could twerk while pooping, defecating, right? Z, I didn't need to see that image. I'm just saying. Continuing.
Listen, shout out to all the black men my age with high blood pressure and heart issues. But he was not taking care of himself. He was such a fraud. It's really wild that like he made a lot of money in that short period of time, but he was in so much debt. Credit was so fucked up and had not really had any of those high value traits to take care of himself. And if you ever watch his streams, he's down in Red Bulls one after the other. You know what I'm saying? So he's like,
he would just be sitting there drinking Red Bulls, drinking whatever.
And then you add probably.
What was he was such a fraud thing? What was that about? Continuing.
May or may not have been taken. But it don't take much to you know.
And the guilt of doom in your whole community and shit. Like, that got it.
And that's what I was waiting for. And guilt and doom. What he said, doom your whole community. Kevin Samuels doomed the whole community. Did I hear that correctly? I can't play it back because we're gonna have to play it from the beginning. But was I the only one that heard that? Doom your whole community? You think so? We had decades of black women defecating on black men, and you're saying Kevin Samuels, who his popularity lasted 2 years, 2.5, 2 years? Was it even 2 years? He doomed the black community, not the women who called in and defecated on black men on camera. No, those people doomed the black community. Kevin Samuels did. Play Kevin Samuels again, Z. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with the woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
Kevin Samuels doomed the black community, everyone. Rest in peace, Kevin. Kevin, apparently you doomed the black community. Excuse me. You doomed the black community, Kevin. Wow. Continuing.
That's not good on the eyes.
He was already talking about like previous health issues. Like I think he had like cancer before. Like,
I think he did have cancer. Yeah, he survived cancer.
Man, I feel like he is kind of, and that entire like aspect of culture is indicative of a lot of like, it's no surprise where we are right now. Right?
No.
Because
people act surprised like there weren't signs beforehand. It's like, no,
it's
that's not how history works.
That's my thing. It's so incentivized when it comes to not even just like the algorithm. We even see how like TikTok is doing that shit with suppressing stuff now. Like they use consumption, but Oracle,
it's greedy. It's crazy.
I agree about the algorithm to a certain extent. It's not just the algorithm. These men, these young men, these boys want someone to tell them it's not a figment of their imagination the way these girls and women are talking to them and treating them. They want someone to tell them, yeah, foodie call is a thing, and no, it's not right. They want someone to acknowledge that foodie call exists. That foodie calls exist. They want someone to tell them, yes, you know what? Yes, she's rude. Yes, she's just unyieldingly sassy. Not someone to tell you, man, that's just your patriarchal understanding of women. Stop boxing women in. Why should she be nice to you? We should be mean to you. Women should be mean to men. Huh? Kevin Samuels and other manosphere, particularly black manosphere folks, blow up. Their channels gets thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views because it's male spaces that acknowledge that what the men are seeing and hearing from women and from the society, from the elites, is not a figment of their imagination. Is there political strife? Yes. Are there disagreements? Yes. But the male space is the only space really that admits to the men that it is not a figment of your imagination. Yes, she really was rude. Yes, she really was sexist. Yes, she really was trying to take advantage of you. Yes, she really did play victim. Yes, she did really use sexist tropes against you. Yes, she really did call in your manhood because you didn't do what she wanted you to do. Yes, she did question your sexuality because you didn't do what she wanted you to do. It's male spaces that even acknowledge that it's a real thing. Then go a step further and say, yeah, and it's not right. Yes, what you saw happened, and yeah, it's not right. Before we even get to air quote solutions. Huh?
How you
Continuing.
see that happening right now? It was like stuff like that slop kind of gets like blared out, and especially like in our culture, which is why you see so many like young black men were on that path as well. Some still are when it comes to like, you know, red pill shit. But like, I want.
As the young brother said, the slop. Okay, fine. Let's call it internet slop. I do think there's an overabundance of some of this stuff, right? It's saturated, this man-woman conversation, because it's cheap. And when I say cheap, it doesn't take any intellectual rigor or heft to just spew your opinions. That's why Mr. Z backs up what I'm saying with supporting evidence, videos, and et cetera, et cetera. But it takes, yeah, women's supposed to be in the kitchen cooking, and men's supposed to be providing the dish. That's easy talk. So is a lot of this just throwaway slop, and there's a bunch of grifting because it's easy and cheap? Yes. Yes. With that, is that all it is? Uh-oh. Is that all it is? Are the young men and the men not gravitating to spaces like this because they're having real experiences with women and men that is not favorable? And to acknowledge that is not sexist. And to acknowledge that the women are being sexist is not sexist. I'll grant you a certain, okay, fine, some of this is slop. Okay, cool. Most of it is slop. I disagree, but okay, cool. Let's say to a certain extent it is the algorithm. I'll grant you that. But it's not just the algorithm, and it's not just slop. Huh? And let's read this super chat. Let's pause right here and read this super chat. And Otis says, black feminists lie and talk so bad about black men that a white supremacist would cringe. Just saying, I'm just saying, Otis. He takes away his own credibility with young black men by doing this. They not stupid. They not going back to the plantation. And that's all it was, right? That's all it was. It's MD signifier attempting to run ahead of us, and other folks like him attempting to run ahead of us and make Kevin Samuels' name mud, and make anyone who makes mention of him or make mention of red pill or anything that even, you don't even have to make mention of any of that, anything that even gives the slightest indication of red pill or black manosphere rhetoric or talking points, you're deemed as like some weird guy, especially if you're young. The weird sexist dude that you, oh, we got to stay away from him. Huh? The young men are not going to go back to plantation. Young black men in specific, they're just dating out. They don't even consider it. This is not even a, and shout out to, right, Gen Z. Shout out to them. It's not even a topic of conversation. I think much of this conversation is gonna die with like older Gen Z. Older Gen Z might carry this conversation on a bit, but them 25 and younger, 23, 24 and younger, they're not gonna be having this conversation like that. Especially the Gen Zs that's still in their teens, they're not gonna, what? That's not gonna be a conversation. Black Gen Z men under the age of 20, they just gonna date who they date. If it's a black woman, so be it. If it's a non-black woman, so be it. Huh? To the best goes the medal. And if it's not a black woman, so be it. So I agree with Otis to this. Excuse me. I agree with Otis with this. They're not going back to the plantation. Young men, young black men in specific. The women have done too much. They've been too loud. And I'm not just speaking about black women. I'm really speaking about the entire developed and developing world. The women been too loud. They've been too disrespectful and mean and rude and sassy, and they get off on it. Panties doing it. I would argue as time continues, what it means to be human is going to be hotly debated and contested. And as that debate is going on, you're just going to see men, young men, go move different. As some of the places in the world become more developed aren't already, and I mean by infrastructure, I'm not insulting people's culture, right? You're going to see people move differently. You're going to see women move differently. And by that time, the robots are going to be here. The humanoid robots going to be, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Artificial wombs and humanoid robots, it's not going to matter. And that's going to suck for the women. They're just going to get phased out. That's all. They're just going to get phased out. And Otis, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm Muffle says, you didn't miss my second super chat, right? I don't think so. Let's see. Oh no, I did actually. I glanced at it. I thought I read it out loud. I did not. And I am Waffle says, Z, you should play the FD vid about black men's low college enrollment, where he specifically had to acknowledge the anti-black misandry of black women and admit we were right. I get what you said. Look, I think I covered it already. I don't remember what I titled it. I think I covered it already. I remember because I remember him making mention that he was on vacation and he made mention of it. And he spent a couple minutes admitting like, yo, like y'all just hate black men. Like we just gotta admit, like some of y'all just hate black men. So yeah, I want to say I covered it already. I don't remember, but yeah, I watched it. I know exactly what you're referring to. Right? If I can remember what I named it, if I can go and find it, I'll try to link it in the description box after the stream also. Right? So let's see if I can remember what it is, what I named it, and I'll find it and I'll just link it. But I want to say I made mention of it, or I did a whole stream of it a few months ago when this was a thing. Right. But yes, I do remember what you're well, I did watch it. Yeah, and I remember. Right. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. All right. So all right, y'all. Look. I think we did our job. It only took less than 3 hours now. Will you look at that? And a good 40, well, it's about to be, by the time we end out, it's going to be 2 hours and 40 some odd, maybe 50 minutes or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, we spent the first 45, 47 minutes or so, 48 minutes or so. Yeah. And the Arena Revise says you covered it. I remember it. Thank you, the Arena Revise. Thank you, Mr. Z. Not even let's find out. Mr. Z is the guy, the rapper that don't remember his own lyrics. Z, not you being the rapper that don't remember his own lyrics. Oh boy. Right. Yeah. Is that what I call the Manosphere pipeline? Yeah. Let me read. I'm just reading through some of you guys' comments. White men from Destro stream advocating for escorts. Yeah. Yeah, that's not about right. That's not about right. Right. Yeah, definitely. So, all right, y'all. Look, think we about to mosey on out of here, right? And Leon says, Z, that is the day he lost 20K followers. FD, oh yeah, I remember you making mention of that. I do remember you making mention of that, Leon. And once again, Leon says, Z, that is the day he lost 20K followers. FD better stick in his box and never go out again. Never go out. And I feel like you said that part too. I feel like you said that, but I remember you definitely remember you saying that he lost the 20K followers, because I didn't even know that, right? But I remember you saying that, and I feel like you said that second part too, where FD better stick in his box and never go out. Right, but didn't that the first conversation, for those of us that remember my first conversation with him, did I not say that to him a little bit before we ended the conversation? Did I not tell him, hey bro, one day you gonna go too far for them and they gonna ban your ass? No pun. Right? Did I not say that to him? Just saying. Telling black women threaten everyone, y'all. Black women threaten black children, they threaten black men, they threaten black LGBTQ. Black women always threaten to blow everything up if you don't kiss their ass. If you're not placating them every 5 seconds, they always threaten to blow everything up. If you don't believe me, go ask the LGBTQ folks. And I saw that with Claudia Jordan speaking to Funky Deneva. Who else said that? Another person said that to another black woman said that to gay black. Yeah, but we all support you. See, what would happen if we remove our support? Yeah, acting like it's black women and black LGBTQ versus straight black men. If it was really that, y'all be having XXX fun with them dudes, and some of y'all do. But not all. Huh? Yeah, black women always trying to blow everything up if you're not placating them. To black people, at least, to black men, better yet. And I'll check it out. And the Arena Revised says Manosphere Highlight Daily had a sparkling takedown of the BuzzFeed article recently. Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for that. I done tried to make my outro like 3-4 times already. Okay, let's do this. 11 times. Okay, let's do this. We will pause right here, everyone. Great chat. We'll pause right here. Love Piece of Chicken Grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And I think we did our job today, everyone. I think we did our job. That's what it looked like, at least. It looked like we did our job. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.
People don't tell women the truth these days. Men get told the truth all the time. Women have no problem telling a man, I don't want an average man. It happens every day on my show. TLC said they don't want no scrubs, and we have no problem telling average men, you ain't crap. But if I just happen to have the nerve to agree with a woman that says she's average, then I'm Satan. I think that's interesting.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.